Live.
Yeah, everybody, it's opening the door, the first one of 2021. Yeah, can you dig it? Uh-huh. Going around, gonna have a bunch of shits and giggles. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Freaking out over here. Yeah. How's everyone doing? Who we got in here?
Macho Man Randy Savage, how have you been, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Scott?
Well, I'm doing all right, sir. So I got to ask, how's it feel to be the Macho King?
Macho King, oh yeah, doing it up all the way up to the top and right to the bottom. Feels good with the community and all the support. Yeah.
So I got to ask you, man, how does the madness start in the morning?
How I start in the morning? I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I brush my teeth, and then I do a recovery program of joint mobility for about a half an hour.
Now, how does the madness start in the morning? What is usually the first thing you reach for?
Yeah, cup of coffee. Yeah, cream of the crop. Yeah.
Now, just one cream, or well, how do we do this?
Yeah, and any cream as I want. There is no limit, because on balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm having a good day.
Right on, my man. So I got to ask you from the beginning, who's been your toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent? I would have to say, okay, you asked me as Chad or Macho Man?
Well, apparently I'm speaking to the Macho Man himself, so I got to ask you. I mean, Macho, who's the best opponent you've had?
This opponent would probably have to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. WrestleMania 3, yeah, best match 10 years in a row.
10 years in a row. Whoa.
10 years in a row is voted top WrestleMania match of all time. Yeah.
I'll tell you, that is very true. I will say this, though, because I actually watched that live when it happened. That match was an hour long and never got any credibility till later. Why is that?
Yeah, because everything was about Hogan and the Giant, but me and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat went in there and we stole the show. No one cared about the main event after that match. Yeah.
How about those matches you had with the painted face guy, the Ultimate Warrior? What'd you think of that guy?
Ultimate Warrior, you know, that guy looked like a real-life comic book. Yeah, but that's about it. That's all he had. He had no wrestling talent whatsoever.
Just a juiced up guy, I guess.
Just a juice monkey. That guy was blown up before he even got to the ring. He run down to the ring, blow up. That's why his matches were so short. Yeah, no one liked working with him.
Maybe that is why he didn't really do anything in the WCW. They knew. Maybe they knew what he was all about. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. From the rumors I've heard about Ultimate Warrior is he didn't care about the guys. He would dump you and just drop you on your, like, he just cared about the money. There's actually a story with him. I forget which WrestleMania it is, if it's 6, where he's wrestling Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And apparently the rumor goes is he asked Vince McMahon for $25,000 or he wasn't going to go out. And in the wrestling world, you don't do that. You don't hold up the promoter for money. So Hulk Hogan said, go grab the Iron Sheik and we'll just break his leg. Because the Iron Sheik was shoot tough. Like, that guy, he could break your leg, no problem.
Well, from what I heard, I don't know if that's true or not. I heard it was a lot more, and it was SummerSlam when he and Hogan teamed up with Sid Justice as the referee, and he asked for $500,000 that night. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was. I just want to say hey to Adrian and Metal Guy. They're in here. Good to see you guys.
So welcome. We didn't do a proper introduction tonight because obviously we have a blast from the past, but also a dead man who has revived himself from the grave tonight. Guys, welcome to, I guess you call this season 2 of Opening the Door, episode number 26. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. I don't know how many is in here. I don't care. I'm here for the good time tonight. Tonight we have a good friend of mine, a great follower as well. Chad Straza. If you don't know who the guy is, go follow him on Instagram. He shows you some bodybuilding videos here and there. Some of the greatest impressions I've ever seen. He's a real good dude. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you on here, man.
Yeah, thank you very much, Scott, and I'm honored to be on here. You know, you and Dave Motivation, you two are the biggest supporters that I've had when I did the Macho Man thing. So thank you very much for all that you've done. You guys have helped me out lots and putting me on your platform.
Also, follow him on his YouTube channel, and I think he's trying to make it so it's Chad the Madness, something of that nature. I think he's going to be making some madness content here in the future, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got a bunch of ideas for some videos and some impressions and hope to give people some laughs and freaking out. Yeah.
Why are you always freaking out, man? I don't understand that. Why is the Macho Man always freaking out?
That's how intense I am. Yeah, take it.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So, anyway, how you been? Because we haven't this is my first open the door in quite a while. Everyone tuning in, so apologize if it's not in the regular. It's been a while. We got to get back into things. And how's Chad been?
I'm doing really good. Just want to say hey to Josh in the chat. Good to see you. I'm doing good. I just got laid off from work. So, you know, it is what it is with what we're living in today's world, but I'm going to use it to get a lot of things done and to focus on a lot, like reading books and making videos and trying to get something else new in the work world instead of doing what I've always been doing. I'm kind of not enjoying that anymore.
Good for you. It's time for a change, it sounds like.
Yeah, other than that, man, life's good. I'm seeing a really good woman for the last 10 months. She's awesome and really supportive.
Is her name Elizabeth?
No, it's not Elizabeth. It's Deanne. Yeah.
Well, it's either Elizabeth or Gorgeous George, one or the other in your career you had going on. So
I think if I yelled out Elizabeth to her, she might get a little upset.
Macho Man, do you really eat the Slim Jims? Bearded Tap Matt wants to know.
Yeah, I eat them. Yeah, and I give them away. Slim Jims all the way. Yeah. It'll be so spicy.
No, I don't. Yeah. Please. If I'm looking to the side like this, I'm talking to my wife. So I can't see her because the light's blinding me right in my face. We're having electrical problems here, gentlemen. So apologize. My normal lights are actually, I'm just running with one. I think we just need to replace a breaker in the house, and we're just running with one for the night. So don't yell at me about the quality of the lighting. Please don't, because I do have a pretty tough SOB right here beside me.
Oh, I'm not tough. I just pretend to be.
So give me a little bit of your background, Chad. I mean, because we don't know each other 100%. Tell me a little bit about Chad and your childhood, your some of your good memories, where you're from. You're in Canada. Have you been there your whole life?
Yeah. So I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. So that's the middle province with the two lines that go down. They didn't put any effort into trying out my province.
Saskatchewan. So you're near one of my favorite music artists, Coulter Wall.
I don't know who that is. I'm not going to lie.
He's from Saskatchewan.
Okay. Did you know Roddy Piper's from Saskatchewan?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
He claimed to be from Portland, Oregon, but that's where he actually lived when he got famous, so to say.
Yeah. He lived on a reserve like a half an hour just outside of Saskatoon.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I lived here my whole life. I lived in Alberta for 1 year. It's a prairie province. There's really nothing here. It's flat. You can see your dog run for 3 days. I live in a city that has 250,000 people, so it's not huge. And I live a very simple, quiet, minimalist life. Like all I do is work out, read books, play video games, hang out with the girlfriend.
Are we getting your dude? I cannot dress up to look like anyone at all. I mean, come on. I have a modern looking mullet going on here. I mean, I don't have the physique either to do any wrestler, but the voice, I don't need to do the voice because there it is, the voice right there. I mean,
We even got Susanna in the house. How you doing? Yeah.
Bret Hart, Owen Hart. You know what? Josh McClain. We're talking about him. I actually got to meet Bret Hart a few years ago. I went to a meet and greet. They did where I met AJ Styles. I met AJ Styles like in May that year, and then I met Bret Hart in October that year as well. And Bret, honestly, I hate to say it, was a douche. I was not. He was a real ignorant person. Paid a good bit of money to go see him, and he was, you know how they'll do those things where you you pick a 8x10 and they'll sign it or whatever. Well, my grandmother loved Bret Hart, and he was one of her favorites, and she bought a picture of him, and she passed away, and I got it. Well, I got it autographed, and I told him, I was like, my grandmother took this photo of you, you know, and he just looked at me like he was disgusted. You know, I was like, she passed away, and I'm getting you to sign it. He was just a real dick. And then he was selling his glasses there, and if you bought them, he'd autograph them. He refused to autograph my glasses. I was like, you just came here to collect your money and leave. I was like, you're a douche, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it gets after a while with wrestlers. Like, I'm not saying I was famous or anything, but like, it's such a hard lifestyle. Like, those guys are on the road 20 to 28 days out of a month. And
that's very true, and I'm not defending him, but
no,
on the hindsight of that, and this is all seriousness, they signed up for it. They knew what they were getting involved in. Because trust me, there are some where I watch some of their histories and stuff, and I'm not saying they want a pity party. I'm not saying that, but some of them, like, you brought it on yourself for whatever situation is. But we'll get into the wrestling. I want to start back over. Give me some more of your history, man. You know, what some of your fondest memories. You know, what did Chad do when he was a kid?
All I did was wrestle. I wrestled since I was 6 years old.
You were an actual wrestler.
Yep. Yeah, I did actual Greco-Roman wrestling.
Okay.
Since I was 6, I did the backyard wrestling. I did all that. Like, wrestling was my life for years. Like, that's all I did. But I was a small kid. Like, my learner license when I was 16, I was 5'4", 130 pounds. I was a late bloomer. So all I did was wrestle. I wrestled up throughout high school, mostly just kept to myself. Like, I knew a lot of people, but I didn't have a lot of friends, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And seriously, man, that was my life. All I did was wrestle. Like, my family would be like, shut up and stop talking about wrestling. We don't care. Like, that's all I did, and that's all I talked about, you know. And
were you pretty good at the sport itself?
I like to think so. Yeah, I won a bunch of tournaments and stuff like that. I only lost one match when I wrestled in high school, and it was because I was 130, and the next weight up, the guy was 190, and my coach was like, "Look, you can wrestle this guy who's got like 70 pounds on you, but it's good experience and it doesn't count for anything." So I wrestled him, and I went all 5 minutes, and he just beat me by points. And that was the only match that I lost throughout my high school career.
That's pretty impressive, man. That says something. That's damn good.
Yeah, and I would always German suplex everyone. My coach called me the human suplex machine after Taz from ECW, because I German suplexed everyone.
It's actually it's funny. We never talked about that. I didn't know you were an actual wrestler. I didn't know that. You never told me. I honestly thought you were just a fan. That's awesome to know, man. So, how old are you?
I am turning 40 on the 27th.
Okay, that's right. So you're 40. So we're the same age. Did you go to college?
No.
Okay, so no college wrestling experience. So what did you do out of high school?
Out of high school, I went right to a wrestling school called HIW here.
Okay.
And I started training to become a professional wrestler, but I started at the age of 15. I was doing it while I was in high school.
They probably, considering they knew you had the experience in the ring, they were saying, this kid has talent. We need to get him going. Probably something like that, wasn't it?
Well, there was that, but I was small. And when I started wrestling, that's when you had to be big. Like that was the Attitude Era where the average wrestler was like 6'2", 6'4", 250 and up. So I was considered small. So what happened was my first day of training, I took up a blue folding mat 3 times and I did a 450 off the top rope, first training session.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And according to the people that were training me, like my bump was perfect. I ran the ropes. Like it just came so natural to me because me and my friends used to always wrestle in the basement or backyard. So it's kind of like I was always doing it. And when I did the 450, the promoter was like, holy crap, man, you are nuts. And that's how I got my wrestling name as Plum Loco. He was like, you're crazy.
Plum Loco, that was your name.
Yeah, that was my name because I did a 450 first day of training and he was like, you're nuts.
Wow. That shows you had the courage to do it from the beginning. So that's good. That's good. That shows good sportsmanship as well. You're like, I'm going all in.
Yeah, and I guess I should say too, like I didn't just wrestle. Like when I was younger, I was in gymnastics and I was in diving. So that really helped with my high flying acrobat stuff that I could do because I already was doing that.
What were you saying?
I said when you're done, you time my wrestling name.
You have to now join my wife's wrestling school now. So
Not my name.
What?
My wrestling name.
I forget it.
Ferguson.
Oh yeah. My wife wants me to tell you her wrestling name, and she stole it from someone. I don't care what she says. She says her name will be Turd Ferguson. That'd be her name.
Turd Ferguson. That's from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, with Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Those are hilarious. I love this Celebrity Jeopardy.
She just says that at random, like all the time for no reason. Turd Ferguson. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh.
The Sean Connerys were the best.
I will say they were funny. They were funny. I didn't watch Saturday Night Live. I just never watched it. It's not saying it wasn't funny, just didn't do it. So you went to wrestling school, and you pretty much sounds like you were a natural at the whole thing. Did you get to do the independent circuit by any means at all?
Oh yeah, I did the independent circuit for 15 years. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, traveling across Canada, doing some of the northern states. But yeah, no, I did it for 15 years. I started when I was 15. I did it till I was 30. I quit over all the BS and just the politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back for 2 years and all that stuff was there. And I was like, I'm just done. But at the same time, I had a really good job where I was making really good money. So like, when you do independent wrestling, you either get paid nothing or you get paid $20 or 50 or till you negotiate when you become really good. And I negotiated to the point where I was at $100.
Yeah.
But when you drive somewhere, you only get halfway trans. So they pay one way, you and the guys you drive up with have to pay the other way. They pay for the hotel room, but usually it's like 4 or 6 of you in one hotel room. Because everyone's trying to save money. Because you're not in the independent circus. You're not making money.
You're not making money. You're trying to get your name out there. Yeah.
Yeah, you want that and you want the experience. But the thing with being in Canada is it's so big. It takes 2 to 5 hours, in some cases 7 hours, to drive to a big city to even get a crowd.
Yeah.
You know, after a while, you're like, is it really worth it for me to drive 5 hours for one wrestling match and then drive all the way home? Plus, you're paying for all your food, too, as well. So you're not making money. You're spending it.
You're paying pretty much for a vacation trip. That's what you're paying for, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, you're paying to go hang out with the guys and the boys and have fun. But when you get a job and you get paid double time on a Saturday and a Sunday and you can make $500 in a day, which one do you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't do it, though. It sounds like you didn't do it to make money. You were doing it because you loved it.
Yeah, and that's why you do it. You do it because you love it. You do it for the experience. But also at that time, the internet was just coming around, and I didn't know how to get my name out. And like, you usually have to send like a promo that's 30 seconds and one that's 3 minutes, so they know that you can do longer ones. You have to have your pictures, and then you send them 5 matches, and they decide what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too is you got to go to other wrestling schools like the Harley Race, the Killer Kowalski, and you go to theirs where there's scouts that are watching, but most of the time you're just there to make their wrestlers that they train look good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it was really hard back then to get your name out. Like, you had to struggle. It wasn't like today where they have the performance center and you get a special invite to go there. But
Performance Center, I will admit, because I'm a big diehard fan, forever, more than likely. Performance Center, I do, because I everyone, if you know me, if everyone follows me, I'm probably the biggest NXT fan you'll ever know, and I truly believe in NXT. I love it way better than everything you see on Raw and SmackDown. Period.
yeah,
Keep in mind, everybody, I don't really watch a lot of AEW, Impact Wrestling, or New Japan, only because I don't have cable. I can go across next door to my in-laws to watch it. You don't want to do that all the time. I watch highlights and such on YouTube. I watch a lot of the wrestling channels and stuff, so I get all the internet information and stuff. So I basically have stuck to WWE most of my wrestling watching career and stuff. But NXT, I've been hooked since day one. I watched it, and I think it's way better than anything they've ever made.
and it is. They do have the better wrestlers, but like, how do I explain it? So like, when you get into the WWE, they don't really want you to do the big flippy dippy stuff, because you have to do that every single night, and then that way you can get injured. So like, when I met Honky Tonk Man, and he was telling us, he's like, oh yeah, all that crazy stuff you guys do out there. He's like, you can't do that 28 days out of a month and then do it another 25 days the next month. You're going to kill your body, and your career is only going to be 3 years long. And that's why.
No, that was a good one.
And he's like, that's why, like, in the golden age of wrestling, like the 80s and stuff, like, that's why they never really did big crazy moves, because they had to prolong their career. And that's why it was all about the psychology of a match. Like, that's the most important thing in wrestling. And like, wrestling isn't, like, to get into it and to get somewhere, wrestling isn't really what people think it is. Like, everyone thinks if you're a good wrestler and a good talker, you're a shoo-in. Not necessarily. Like, when you go to the performance center, they have you all stand in a line, and the first question they ask is, who can speak more than one language? You put your hand up, you step forward, and they ask all these questions, and they have you stepping forward, and that's the people that they want. Your wrestling is kind of in the middle, because they can teach you how they want you to wrestle, right?
They want to know what skills you have to offer the company.
Yeah, and they really want people to know how to speak more than one language, because you're traveling all over the place. Like Cesaro, he can speak 7 languages, right? And
5.
Is it 5? Okay. And and like, that's what they're looking for. They need smart people to go and do that. And the other thing that other people don't know too, especially if you don't have any background, is WWE has a contract with the NFL. So what guys don't make it to the NFL? They go into the training camp for wrestling and see how they work out that way. The reason why is because they're big, they're in shape. So you already have those aspects of a wrestler that you need. You can just train them how to be a wrestler and how to cut promos.
That is very true, because, excuse me a sec. That's very true, because some of my favorite wrestlers in NXT, they were Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, his real name's Tom Pescott. Pescock. He played for the Arizona Cardinals, and he was a big offensive lineman. Well, when he came to the WWE, he's 6'7" or 6'8", so he's a big, tall dude, and he wasn't that big. He was about 275, 260, but that's a big change from being a 300-some pound offensive lineman. He slimmed himself down. That's great. And then now he's like a big star on WWE now. He's
Yeah.
King Corbin. He's 6'8". I think he's 280 something now or something like that. But he's really came through the program very, very well. I was really proud watching him go through it too.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of them were football players. Like Bill Goldberg, The Rock. Like The Rock's story is he wanted to be in the NFL. He didn't make it.
Yeah.
So then he tried out for the Calgary Stampeders here in Canada. And he didn't make that. And the only thing he had left was to be the very first third-generation superstar, right? But
and he did it. He did it very well.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't understand that they have a contract with the NFL and they pick up the guys who don't make it. They're like, well, you didn't make it in football, so come make it as a wrestler. Why wouldn't you?
I never ever honestly thought of that. I really didn't. That never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
It really never has. So let's get back a little bit. You're talking about you had a good job. What exactly did you do? Because I'm curious, as a wrestler, what did you do for a job that coincided with your wrestling schedule? Because I'm sure you had workouts and stuff in between. What were you doing for work at that time?
I'm in the laborers union, so I was doing manual labor jobs.
Oh,
yeah,
contractor, construction, so to say.
Yeah, so I was working manual labor jobs for 10 hours a day. Then I would go right to the gym, and 3 times a week I would train for wrestling. And
you literally never slept for the most part.
I would sleep. Yeah, but the real bad part about it is when I got my injury.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when I popped my C7, and when I asked them what happened, they basically, I told them how I lived my life and everything, and they were like, well, basically you drove your body into the ground until it got hurt. Because they were like, you can't keep that up. Nobody can.
Right.
I did that for 10 years.
Damn.
And I was also working 70, 80 hours a week at one point in time. So
you were just like a freight train, man.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why I couldn't get past 190. I was eating 8,600 calories a day, and I could not get past 192 pounds.
That's crazy. That's insane. I don't see how you couldn't do that.
Because I was always moving at a manual labor job for 10 hours. I was working at the gym like a madman, and I was wrestling training 3 times a week. So like I was burning everything, and like I was a lean 192.
Yeah, you didn't have the time for your body to legitimately absorb everything you were doing. You just kept it moving. Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy schedule. And when I got hurt, they told me, and this is going to sound BS to some people, but they were like, your pain tolerance is very high.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how can you tell? And they go, well, because when we're trying to help you out and recover you, you could do a lot of things. We could do a lot of things to you that other people can't.
Yeah.
And they go, and that's how we could tell you have a high pain tolerance. So what they said happened is that my body was in pain, but I didn't notice it until my body just completely failed and my neck popped.
So you went from wrestling to now, well, I've seen you're working out. Are you bodybuilding? You trying to get yourself bigger now? Or
no. So when I had the injury, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to drive a car. I was flat on my back for 6 months. The only comfortable position was laying flat.
Okay.
I couldn't sit. I would violently spasm in my pec, my back, and
my
bicep. And like when I mean I was in pain, man, I was in pain. I couldn't even hold a book to read it because I would just violently spasm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So there was no working out, and I had to find a different way to train, because the bodybuilding and the power programs, that's all fine and dandy, and that's great. But what happens that people don't understand with that kind of training is you're basically breaking your body down.
Mm-hmm.
And an injury is just inevitable. Like, I'm not trying to boost it up. I was 100% natural, but I was bench press all for 6 reps. I could bench press 275 for 6, deadlift 405 for 6, military press 205 for 6, squat 375 for 6. Like, I was strong. But when you bodybuild and you power lift, what people don't understand is it works out the muscle, but your joints and tendons don't get any workout at all.
Yeah.
And that's usually what breaks down when people train like that. It's not usually the muscle that breaks down. It's the joints and tendons that snap.
Yeah.
So when I got hurt, I had to learn how to work out differently.
Yeah.
And
You literally had to work out. You didn't get to lift, go for the muscle. You had to go to condition and such.
well, I couldn't because I was so weak. Like, I used to be able to do 60-pound tricep extensions. When I got hurt, I couldn't even do 5 pounds.
Oh my.
Yeah, like when I mean I couldn't do anything, I couldn't even do push-ups. Like, my posture was like this. Like, that's how messed up I was.
Oh my. Did you have to have surgery and stuff?
They wanted to do surgery, and I saw what neck surgery did to my mother, and I literally told them to go F themselves. I said, no way.
Yeah.
And like, to kind of get into the dark part, and I kind of like, I was ready to kill myself. I contemplated it hard for 2 days, very hard. That's how bad it was, because I was only sleeping 2 hours a night for 6 months because the pain would keep me up. So what happened was I was contemplating it, and I was like, all right, you little bitch, if you're willing to go that far, you first have to try to get better. So I gave myself 1 year, and I found a program by a guy named Scott Sunnan, and he's in the Fitness Hall of Fame. He was the very first person to ever train Navy SEALs and then get invited over to Russia behind the Iron Curtain to develop a program for the Russian Spetsnaz.
Mm-hmm.
He's the very first person in human history to work for one army and then get to go to the other one.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, and like, he was I think he's a 3-time martial arts world champion, and he developed a program called TAC Fit. So it's tactical fitness, and his whole idea of training is whoever recovers first wins.
Okay.
So he really, really focuses on recovery. And most people think when you work out and you recover, you just don't work out that day.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is, if you don't recover, like do a recovery program, is your muscles will heal tight.
Yeah.
And that's where the injuries happen, because they don't have that flexibility. They don't have that range of motion.
Yeah.
And also with bodybuilding and powerlifting, I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. They're really good, depending what you want, but you're only strong in those movements.
Yeah.
As soon as you're taken out of them, you're weak.
Yeah. You're right. You're out of your element. You don't know what to do. Your body doesn't know what's going to do.
Yeah. And people don't know that. And so his whole thing is, there's a thing called joint mobility. So you know how when you crack your neck, you hear that Rice Krispie square? Yeah. So what that is your joints have a separate fluid system than the rest of your body. It's called synovial fluid. Now, synovial fluid, if you stay seated like how most of our culture is nowadays in the West, and you get up and you're all stiff and sore, what happens is that synovial fluid hardens up like salt crystals.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to move it around to break down that synovial fluid into a liquid state, and that's its natural state. So it's like oil in a piston. But if you don't break it down every day, then you just keep getting stiffer and stiffer. So that's where joint mobility comes in, and that's what you do for the first day you work out. You're basically getting rid of all the stress you put on your body, and you're wringing that out. And then the next day when you work out, you do yoga. Because what yoga does is it gets rid of all the stress you put on your body.
Yeah.
So you have 2 recovery days, and then you have 2 workout days. And the workouts that I do are very functional. Like, I do sandbags, med balls, club bells, kettlebells, body weight training, dumbbells, and it's all functional movements. So instead of working out to get injured like the bodybuilding and the powerlifting, the way I train now and the way Scott Sundin designs his program, it's actually in men's health as the smartest workout in the world. And you basically work out to prevent injuries from happening.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. So when you start doing the joint mobility and the yoga, it's very interesting because you can be 40 years old, but then if you stick with it, you can move better than a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And to me, it's the fountain of youth. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but like if you want to just be in shape and not huge and have your body be mobile and not hurting all the time, I would invest in TacFit.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of went long for you on that one.
Oh no, that's okay, man. That's what we're doing. Is we're opening that door. Do you prefer now you're older, wiser, and would you rather be working out now, or would you still rather be wrestling?
I would rather be working out, just because I'm older with the wrestling, and
well, you know what I mean. If you were still able to do so, would you still want to wrestle? Or would you say, nah, I'm just going to continue my bodybuilding, so to say?
I'm an all in or nothing kind of person. So if I were to go back into wrestling, like I would have to like try to go to Japan or NXT.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be doing what I did before. Like I would have to move and get down into those places where you actually are wrestling like 20 days out of a month instead of when I wrestled, it was like maybe 6 days out of a month.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Wrestling's awesome. Wrestling's amazing. It is so much fun. You like it's kind of like being a modern day gladiator. The crowd is the mob. They choose who they want. They choose.
That's
who
right.
The only thing is you get to leave without dying.
That is true. If the crowd don't like you, they're going to tell you. That is true.
Yeah, so that's the way I look at wrestling now. It's the modern day gladiator kind of thing, and that roar of the crowd, it's like a drug, man. You get hooked. The biggest crowd I ever wrestled in front of was 5,000.
Oh wow, jeez, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and when you have 5,000 people's eyes just on you and one other person in the ring, and all you're wearing is spandex.
Yeah, it's scary, but at the same time, you're like, oh my god, this is it.
Yeah, and the thing is you'll be nervous before you even go out.
Yeah.
But once you get out there, everything goes away and the show is on. Like it's good to go that way.
How did these impersonations come about? I mean, where did they come from? Or is this because you do resemble the Macho Man, or is this?
Well, in wrestling and on road trips, it can be very boring because back then you didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah, it's true.
So, like, you're always joking around in the van with all the boys and you play games. Like, the one game that you play is you name a wrestler and the last letter on that wrestler's last name.
Yeah.
You have to name another wrestler.
Yeah, I've always heard that game.
Yeah. So you have that and, like, you're joking around and, I don't know. I just did it, and people liked it, and they were like, "Holy cow, man! You sound exactly like him." And I'm like, "Yeah, boom it up, you know what I'm talking about." And I like to talk a little quiet as Macho Man, and then you gotta pick it up and start freaking out. Yeah, boom it up. And then the Honky Tonk Man one is I met him.
Yeah.
I started doing the impression to the boys, and they were like, "You got it! You got to show Honky Tonk Man your impression of him." So I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, that's pretty fucking good." So and then the Jesse the Body Ventura one that I did, I actually learned how to do it watching Will Sasso do an impression of him.
Okay.
So that's how I learned how to do that one. And it's just like, well, why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me there, Scott? The world's coming to an end there, and I got a silo full of tortillas and 30,000 liters of portable water. So why don't you tell me, Scott?
He's got that Minnesota accent very, very deep. He does.
Yeah, he does, and that's a hard voice to do. It took me a while, and then Stone Cold, I was working on Stone Cold for a while, and getting that Texas draw in there was pretty hard for me. And with my impressions, sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. Hey, we got Mo in here and Kyle. Hey, guys.
Thank you for tuning in, gentlemen. Appreciate you both. Thank you very much. It's actually, I found something, and I got it in honor of you for tonight. Something that you endorse 1,000,000%.
Yeah, slap with a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah, take it.
It's the Savage size one. It's 3 times bigger than your original giant Slim Jim. What do you got on that, Savage?
All I got is that the reason why is because on balance, off balance doesn't matter. Savage is better. Yeah.
I bought this specifically. This like I don't. It's like $4 or $5 for this thing. I said I gotta get it just because I said I got the Macho Man and the hot seat. I gotta have it.
Yeah. Snap into it just like I do. There you go. Slap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So let's get into something because this is that type of channel. How did you get into the bearding? I gotta ask you.
So I always had a beard before beards were even popular, or at least where I live. Like, I had a beard 13 years ago. People were like, "Why do you have a beard?" I go, "Because I like it." But the problem is I had the beard drift really bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was kind of self-conscious of it. And my beard was also like a wire brush that you clean dishes with. Like, it was terrible. I would kiss my girlfriend, and she'd be like, "You need to shave." So I was just on YouTube one time, and I started watching this beard oil, and it was you, Dan, and No BS Beards. I started watching first. You guys, nice. And yeah, you guys were the first ones I started watching with that. I like Dan C for his educational stuff, and Dan will even say this on the lives, is we have completely opposite scent profiles. Like if
I always tell him Dan can't read. He can't read.
So whatever Dan says to get, I get the opposite. But you had the same scent profile I did. So that's why I really liked watching your videos, because we had the same scent profile. And I also like watching guys who don't always do the same reviews. Like you were doing like Damn Yankee and all these companies I never heard before where they were popular on the other channels. And I always liked watching guys who were doing companies that have never been showcased before.
Yeah.
You were doing that, and No BS Beards was doing that before. So that's why I really liked watching you guys. And that's how I got into it. And then when I discovered that it actually helped with the beard and made it soft.
What was when you got it? What was the first product you actually first got?
It was Luxurious Bastard.
Which one?
I ordered a bunch because that's
okay. That's right. That's right. Being you live in Canada, you might as well go the extra mile and get your shipping worth it.
Yeah. So like I had the original rustic, sweet, spicy, smoky 1912. I think that was the first ones that I had.
And which ones were you like, yep.
Yeah, like everyone's different, but original, that's one of my favorite barbershops. I love that talcum powder. I love that fresh clean. Smoky, wasn't really a big fan of it. 1912, loved, like that one's great. Spicy. Spicy, didn't really care for too much cinnamon for me in there.
That one is exactly what it said. It's spicy, but you know what you're getting into if you read it. You know it's going to be a spicy one. So some people can't wear it because of the cinnamon factor. Some people can, but it's good. I'm not saying it was not bad at all. That one's just the one you got to be cautious with because of the spices.
Yeah, and the thing is I just got into the game, so I didn't even know what my scent profile that I liked was. Actually, the hottest one I've ever had was his old holiday blend.
Really?
That one, I've never had a beard oil burn my skin or feel the heat because I don't have sensitive skin, so I'm pretty good. That one, my face was on fire. I had to wash it out, and I gave it to a guy at work. I was like, nope, not for me. It was brutal.
Damn.
Yeah, and I got really into the beard game. Like I was buying everything.
Yeah.
Like
it's one of those rabbit holes that you go down into, and it happens. You see this post, you see that post, you see this video, and it's good. It's variety. You got to try it. You never know if you're gonna like something until you try it.
Yeah, and I tried everything. I think at total, I probably at one point in time had 170 bottles of beard oil. Yeah, and what I did is I just sold them to guys at work and people that I knew who because no one here knew what beard oil was.
Right.
So I was just selling them to the guy. I wasn't making any money off of it. Hey, we got Mac with the cheese in here.
Hey, man.
So I would just sell them what I didn't like. And now that I know my scent profile and I know what companies I like, I'm not really buying anything right now, especially with being laid off. I'm literally not buying anything.
Understandable. You ever think you'll trim it off? Shave it off?
I actually just trimmed off about 5 inches.
No, I'm talking, take it down, like when I call just the beginner beard.
Yeah, I shaved
the old macho man.
Yeah. I actually shaved my head and my beard off 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, right down to the wood. Shaved my head, got the clean razor shave, and started fresh. Just I do it every 5 to 2 years just to try something new.
Yeah.
And I usually donate my hair when I shave it.
But that is your hair you have now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got this curly fries curly hair. Yeah. Yeah. The girls like it, so that's the important thing.
You wear it ponytail up for the most part? Probably when you're working out, I would imagine.
Yeah, I put it up in the man bun thing just to get it out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because actually with having the beard and having this long hair, I get hot really fast.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Understandable, man. You don't have to explain that to me. I know all about it.
Yeah. So just doing that. I like the shorter beards. I had my beard down there was the biggest, but I kind of like the business length.
That's good. Me. And every person's different, and I can honestly see you being that would fit you more. I can see.
Yeah, and it's funny with the beard oils because my girlfriend, who I'm seeing, the first thing she said to me when we were going to meet, she goes, "Your beard better smell nice." And I was like, "Don't you worry about that. I got beard products, lots of them."
What did you wear for that first meeting? I gotta ask you since you said it.
I think I wore vintage. I believe it was vintage or Bilberry.
Very good choice for a first date. That's good.
Yeah, and vintage and Bilberry, I love those ones. Those ones are great.
So, have you ever thought about making content for real, like I do? Have you thought about it of any kind, not just impersonations of the life of Chad Straza, as you working out and such?
Yeah, like with me being laid off and stuff right now, I'll actually have time. So I want to make more funny videos of Macho Man, give people some laughs. I'm part of the Bearded Regard now. So they want me to start doing some reviews and stuff. And I got to give a shout out to Bearded Regard. Those guys opened me up like with open arms, and they've been great.
Good, man.
They're really cool guys and very supportive. Like those three, like to anyone, not just in their group, they're very supportive of everyone. That's
good, man. That's really, really good. I'm glad to hear it. So I had a question. Give me a second because it was relative. you said something and made me think of a question that just went away really quickly because I just took an awesome bite of the Slim Jim and I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I forgot a question.
No worries.
Oh, what the hell was I getting ready to ask you? Oh. If you were to wrestle one dream opponent, who would it be?
Ooh, that's tough. That is really, really tough because.
Who was your favorite when you were younger?
Well, like my top 5. I'm going to give you my top 5.
Okay.
Not in any particular order, but obviously Macho Man. I loved Macho Man. Rick Rude was amazing in the ring. Like, that guy was phenomenal.
Yep.
You know,
he was in the Navy.
Pardon?
He was in the Navy.
Yeah, he was tough. He was a tough man.
Yep.
Like, he was legit. Mr. Perfect, like, that match with Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart at SummerSlam 93, yep. I think it is,
yep,
is phenomenal. Like, one of the best wrestling matches.
91, because 92 was Wembley Stadium and the Bulldog beat him.
Yeah. That match is amazing. That's one of the best wrestling matches you can see.
Yep.
And then Bruno Sammartino, I always give that man credit because he was way back when, and people don't understand back then he was bigger than Hulk Hogan.
He held the belt for 7 years. He holds the record to this day. No one's ever going to come to that.
No. I think in total, what he has the record, and it's something like.
It's in the thousands.
Yeah, like his 2 reigns were over 4,000 days.
Yeah, there's no one's ever going to come close to that ever. So you might as well say he's going to be the longest reigning forever.
Yeah, and Dynamite Kid. He is. I don't care what anyone says, and you talk to wrestlers. He is the greatest wrestler ever. I'm not talking promos. I'm not talking, but I'm talking as an actual wrestler. He is the best, hands down. Even Bret Hart says in an interview, he goes, "I say I'm the best there is, the best there was."
Yeah.
Nope. It's Dynamite Kid.
I have Bret Hart's book, actually. I've read it a couple times. It's a really, really deep and exposing book because he doesn't hide anything. And I honestly, I respect him more, even though he was a douche when I met him. I respect him more when I read his book because he doesn't hide anything. He admits to cheating on his wife and everything in the book. Like, I would rather, not necessarily tell your whole life story, but I'd rather someone tell me the truth, especially when you're writing a book about yourself. I appreciated that as watching it. I was like, damn. I was reading it. I was like, that's really cool to know. Yeah, he was a big Dynamite Kid fan. He always loved the Dynamite Kid. My top 5s will always be Ric Flair, forever. AJ Styles, CM Punk, Steve Austin, just because I loved everything he ever did. I always did. And
let me tell you something right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin going to go get a beer right now. That's what I'm telling you, Scott.
That's pretty damn good, man. And if I had to say a 5th, then probably, I don't know exactly, but it'd either be Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart, one of the other, probably.
Yeah, those are all good guys. I was also a huge fan.
I'm sorry. Take that back. I'm sorry. I totally forgot the one, Chris Benoit, because Chris Benoit, I loved him, and I don't care what he did to his family or whatever. I can't knock what he did in the wrestling ring. That guy, he got everything. He was the second version of the Dynamite Kid. He was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, we're just talking wrestling, and he's one of the best in-ring performers.
Yeah. Chris Benoit, he wanted to be the Dynamite Kid. I mean, look at it. He looked like him, period.
Oh, he idolized him like crazy. Like, he wanted to be him. And I was also a huge fan of Dean Malenko.
It's sad he had an injury almost like you, or a neck injury, and took him out. He was so good.
So, like, that's the hard thing about being a wrestler and talking to fans, because you look at it completely different. But if you ever want to see like an amazing wrestling match with psychology and wrestling, watch the British Bulldogs versus the Malenko brothers in Japan. One of the best tag team matches you will ever see.
Never even knew about that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
It is phenomenal, but that is that's pure wrestling. That is wrestling at its finest.
Now we got Matt taking it back. Oh, if you don't know who the Von Erichs are, you're not a wrestling fan. Yeah. That's Dallas, Texas, at its finest right there.
Man, the Von Erichs were so popular before they went to WCW. I remember hearing the story that when they went to Disneyland, so many people went there to see them, they had to shut Disneyland down.
Yeah, it was huge, man. Like, the Von Erichs were good. All of them.
Yeah, they were so popular. And Kerry Von Erich, like, that guy looked like a comic book character. He was so big with that little tiny waist.
Mm-hmm. Like, and the crazy thing is, he wrestled half his career with 1 foot.
Yep.
And no one ever knew it.
No one knew about it until he went to run the ropes, and the guy went to sweep his foot, so he fell, and he grabbed the wrong foot, and when he grabbed it, he popped it off. And that was the only reason why people knew.
Yeah. He got in a motorcycle accident. He messed his foot up. Because I remember watching, and I mean Ric Flair, when he was in the WWF, because remember Ric Flair and Kerry were in there for like a year or so?
Yeah.
Ric Flair put him in the figure 4. And he had to sell because Ric Flair, he took his right leg and he would wrap it, like this, like over top, locking the figure 4 in over the ankle.
Yeah.
Kerry didn't even feel it because he had to sell it. And I'm like, I watch it as I knew. I'm like, oh my God, he was faking the whole time, because I'm a diehard fan. It's not so real, but the figure 4 does hurt if you put it on someone correctly. It will hurt you. But he couldn't feel it in that foot at all because it was fake. I'm like, yeah, I never knew that.
There's actually a lot of wrestling moves that hurt if you do them real.
Yeah.
With that, I was a huge fan of the Texas Tornado. I thought he was great.
I like watching Noel because I have the WWE Network, and I watch anything and everything from the old stuff because it's all on there. You could see anything. Stampede, I think, is on there now, if I'm not mistaken. But they're getting ready to switch it over here soon. The WWE Network was sold to Peacock, the NBC's streaming system. So real soon, you'll get everything NBC and the WWE Network.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think it's going to be a good deal for the company, when it's all said and done, because wrestling, I don't want to say this, but it's not as big as it used to be. The world changing has had a big impact on that, and they got to do what they have to do to continue. And I understand. I don't like it, but things happen.
Yeah, the thing is, and I'm only telling you my opinion.
Yeah.
When WCW and WWF went at it, that's when wrestling was its biggest.
Uh-huh.
But what happens is when you oversaturate the market like that, it has nowhere to go but down.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but it's kind of like the bearded community, right? Like there's so many people coming in now, and everyone wants to do lives, and everyone wants to do reviews. And it gets to the point where it's like, well, I already saw that 3 times. And I think that's why other people are starting to branch out in the community, not just bearded stuff, but like the movies and just branching out to different things, because you can only talk about beards for so long.
I've said that since day one. I have, and I'm not throwing sand at anybody. It's the truth. You can only do so much when it comes to taking care of your beard, and it all comes back to once the fans come back, that electricity will come back. I hope so. I really do hope so. So if you're a content maker for social media of any kind, staying relevant is the number one thing that people want. They want the views. Staying relevant. You think I care about that? No, I don't. It becomes you. When making content and for social media, when you start to not like it, that's when you need to step away, and that's what I've done.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time, but it's the truth. Where you been? Where you been? It's when you don't want to make videos, you don't want to make them. You just don't. And I decided I was just stepping away for a little while. I don't really miss it. I don't. I'm not saying it to disrespect anybody or
yeah.
I didn't miss it. It's you do what you want to do.
Yeah, and like that's the thing with oversaturated. Like I used to sell cars for 2 years.
Okay.
So I know about sales, and they always talk about high pressure sales, and it's in your face, and it's in your face.
Yeah.
And that's where I think wrestling went wrong. Like I remember being a kid and not watching the pay-per-view, but you watch Saturday morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would only show the still photo.
Yeah. They would show you what happened. You just got to see the hand raised. Yeah. And I'm like, really?
And you were like, man, I wish I would have saw that. But like now, you don't have to watch the pay-per-view because they have the exact same matches on Monday Night Raw.
Well, not only that, people are stealing the content, on other devices. We'll keep it hush hush. Nothing is secret anymore. Like if you're watching a pay-per-view that I pay $50 for, you can steal it off the internet as long as you got that signal. You're like, it's not really. It takes the authenticity away, but also the it factor. It does.
Yeah, and there's no fear of missing out, right? Because like, they got so much wrestling, like they had a network. So like I always thought it was dumb that they went to 3 hours for Raw and SmackDown.
There do I. I hate it.
Are you serious? 3 hours? Like
there's no need.
Like an hour and a half.
How they did it though? Do you know why they did it? Honestly, I think why they did it because they have too many people under contract.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I don't like. And that was what WCW did wrong. They had the money and they were so afraid of these wrestlers to go to WWE, and they were afraid that they were going to miss out on talent. So they gave everyone a contract. And there was people getting paid by WCW who were sitting at home, not even wrestling.
Yeah.
Just so they could go to WWE. And now you have all these wrestlers.
That's what they did to Ric Flair. Yeah. Remember that? He got paid to stay home for a year.
Yeah. And it's mind-boggling to me that they're doing this because they're so afraid to miss out on talent. But
there are so many wrestlers they don't use. Honestly, the WWE is just withering away. I could name tons of them. Cesaro, that's a hard-working son of a bitch. Shinsuke Nakamura, who left Japan to come here to do what? What has he not? He was also in NXT. What has he done? Nothing. He was the first, or one of the first Japanese guys to win the Royal Rumble a few years ago. And what they do, they turned him as a heel and did a low blow to AJ Styles at WrestleMania at his moment. I'm like, that's sad. That's really sad.
It is. And like I said this 15, 20 years ago, I'm going to say 20 years ago now, wrestling has to go back to the way it was, because when you had that golden age of wrestling in the 80s and 90s is you didn't have 150 wrestlers on the roster.
They had about 50.
And they had the talent. And the thing is storylines could go on for like 7 months.
6 months to a year, yeah.
You're lucky if you get 7 weeks now. And because they're always trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not giving anything a chance to take flight right now. Before it even gets off the ground, they're like, cancel it.
Have you ever watched NXT, honestly?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you watch it regularly?
No, I just watch it before this whole thing happened.
Friends
would get together and we would watch it.
Okay. Look at they've been around for about 4 years now, but the Undisputed Era. They come in as all singles competitors. They did. Adam Cole comes in and he's the hot guy from the Independents. And you knew they were going to take him to the top immediately.
Mm-hmm.
They turned that group into the New Age Four Horsemen. That's what they did. And why do I say that? Because they brought back the War Games. NXT has it now. Who's been in every single War Games match? The Undisputed Era. Who was in almost all the War Games matches. The Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
And they were two completely different factions, of course, but they got that comparison like no other. And they just broke them up.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was time. You knew it was coming. And I heard about them splitting them up 6 months ago. They were making the storyline, because you can make a storyline for wrestling today. It's not going to happen. It could happen anywhere between now and a year from there. But they'll tell you, you're going to be the champion at the end of this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And that wrestler, great, in their head, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. 6 months down the road where they're at the bottom of their mental state. Okay, let's go. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes now. It's just, okay, now's your time. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, and they're also pushing people that no one cared for. Like,
exactly.
Look how long they were ramming Roman Reigns down the fans' throat, and no one cared.
He's amazing now as a heel.
Yeah.
Now that people they want people to hate him, he's like the greatest thing they have now.
Yeah, but it took them so long to figure that out. But they were so stuck on him being a face and doing that. And then you have Daniel Bryan, who is getting the biggest pops.
Yeah.
And they were like, nope. And that guy had to fight tooth and nail to get what he wanted.
He earned his spot. He did.
Oh, yeah. But Vince McMahon also loves the big guys.
Yeah, he does. But also what's going on now, and there's really nothing you could say or do about it. He lost his golden ticket. The Undertaker is gone now. That was his baby. And he's not the savior, because he was always the go-to guy. Like, we need you. We need, you know what I mean? We need you. I need you. Because he was always there. He's not there anymore.
And that's what the bookers do wrong in wrestling is you need to bring up these guys.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen when your main guys are retired? And like, okay, anyone could take this disrespectful. I don't care. But like, why is Goldberg there? No one cares.
Shouldn't be there at all. I haven't watched any of his stuff.
No one cares. They had their time. And like some of these guys can't even walk. They can't even walk down and they're supposed to put on a match. Like, retire already. Let the other guys have their opportunities. But that's how wrestling is. Everyone's always clinging and clawing and clutching on to their spot, and no one wants to let it go.
Oh, I know.
And they're not passing the torch. And that all happened with Ultimate Warrior, by the way. When the torch got passed and it got messed up, that happened with Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, where he beat Hulk Hogan. The torch was supposed to be passed. But the thing is the Ultimate Warrior didn't care about the business.
No, he cared about money. He wanted money.
All he cared about was money.
He did in the beginning, and when he was a Blade Runner, when he was a Blade Runner, he was that because he was the new kid in town. Now it's when he got bigger, it was like, oh, I can make money at this. Oh, and that's all it was. Yeah. A lot of stars it's happened to them, man. I've noticed it. I have, trust me. I can honestly say, because I've watched wrestling since I was 3, almost. Well, I'm almost 40. I'm gonna say almost 40 years I've watched it. I've seen it. They come and go. Tons of them.
Yeah, they come and go because of the money. And like, the last good wrestling I think was Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah.
Those.
Well, I think there have been some matches that have come in between. But they're kind of one-offs, but still they're going to withstand the test of time. Now, we'll say 4 of them that I still watch. I'll go back to the network and watch them. Are both Undertaker Shawn matches from the WrestleManias, which are absolutely incredible. Yeah. And the 2 behind it, the 2 Undertaker and Hunter matches. 4 of the best matches you'll ever watch. And that's all they'll ever be, because that's what they wanted it to be. And I'll always say those were good.
And when I say The Rock and Stone Cold, I don't mean wrestling, because they weren't
the whole
wrestlers, but like they brought that energy and that electricity.
Like that whole Rock and Stone Cold era, that feud, no one will ever duplicate that. That will never ever happen. No one will ever. You'll never see that again.
But I do agree with Mo. I like Drew McIntyre as well.
Drew McIntyre is one of the greatest wrestlers they have right now. And I've said that since he became the chosen one back in the old days. Yeah. I've always liked Drew McIntyre. I think he's great. Some of the new ones they have now, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, that is the most original character. People say that The Undertaker was the most original character. No. Bray Wyatt is the greatest character they've ever let be. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, whichever one, that dude has been building his promos from NXT since 2013. He was talking about The Fiend in 2015, and he debuted 4 or 5 years later. That's a workhorse there. That's a true wrestler.
He is. Like, I am a fan of his work because when you watch him in the ring, for as big as he is going.
Yeah.
He is going full out. He is running those ropes hard. He's putting everything into it. And that's what I watch. Being a wrestler, like, who's intense, who's not being sloppy on their moves, who's not just showing up and then leaving, right?
I'm reading Mo's comment. Drew, yes. Daniel Bryan, you got to give the man credit because he had a career-ending injury and he was able to return. Yes. I'm over Seth Rollins. I've been over him since he broke up the Shield. I was in my head. I was like, just stop. He was the person they stuffed down your throat before Roman Reigns, and not a fan of him anymore. Bray Wyatt, no explanation. Braun Strowman, he's a power lifter. Again, talking about what you said earlier, he's a great wrestler. They don't use him enough. They don't use him the way he should be. Thoughts on AEW? I don't watch it enough, Mo, and I mean that, and that's my own fault. I like what I see. I really don't think it's WCW Part 2 because I have heard a lot of people say that. I think the problem they're having, they are the after or the handoffs from the WWE because it's true. You got to look at their track record. Moxley was the first. Dean Ambrose. He left, but he let his contract expire. He did it the right way. He did. He left. He was the first.
I'm not a fan of him.
I like John Moxley, not Dean Ambrose as much.
I think he is a sloppy garbage wrestler.
His old promos were amazing. He was real, just demented, twisted. Great promos back in the day. Yeah. And Matt Hardy. I'm thinking Paul White, The Big Show, Christian Cage. That's 4 wrestlers right there who just jump ship. The Revival, who are now FTR in AEW. That's another one. All these wrestlers were underutilized, and they go to somewhere else. Not necessarily they're going to succeed and be huge. But another big name, I'm forgetting, Chris Jericho, the man like the first undisputed WWE champion ever. They'll never let that go. But seriously, Chris Jericho, it takes a lot.
Yeah. See, that's the one thing that I wish that they would do different is that instead of grabbing these old guys who aren't in the WWE, start grabbing some fresh faces. Grab these people who are in Japan and up and coming that no one's ever seen before. Make a star out of them. Quit grabbing the old guys. Like, I get it, and I understand that's why they do it. But at the same time, that didn't work before, so it's not going to work this time. So stop doing it. It's a formula that has proven that it will fail over and over.
Well, another thing that I've noticed in the past year. Keep in mind, I get the information from internet YouTube channels and stuff, so it's inside. Like we talked, it's easy access. The AEW, it's true. They've been trying to trademark some of the old WWE things, such as the Great American Bash that Dusty Rhodes made. Because he invented them. You know what I'm saying?
So I got to tell you a Dusty Rhodes story before I forget, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so This is old. I can't remember where I seen it from, but Lex Luger is running around in the locker room, like panicking, trying to find his one opponent that ran off. And Dusty Rhodes walks up to him, and you can tell it's a rip. And he goes up to Lex Luger, and he's like, "Hey, Lex Luger, you think that far around anywhere?" And Lex Luger doesn't know what to do, and he's totally like sidetracked of what Dusty just did to him, and he totally forgets his promo. If you could find it, it's hilarious. I could not stop laughing.
I'll have to find that. On YouTube.
Yeah.
I was saying Cody Rhodes, and he is Dusty's son. He wants to try to continue his father's legacy in AEW, so he wanted to get certain things trademarked, that Dusty come up with. I get it. But is it the right thing to do, honestly, on both sides of the spectrum? No. Don't. This is hard to say, but it's the truth. Keeping Dusty's legacy is awesome. I don't knock that, but AEW is not Dusty Rhodes. Make it its own. Stand the funk out. Like, legitimately, they did that exploding barbed wire match, which I really could have cared less about it. But you going to see that on WWE? Never. That I'll give them mad credit for that. That was something WWE would have never done. They need to do something to stand out, not to stand out and compete, and not just compete for ratings.
Well, see, that whole hardcore style doesn't work. If it did,
not more. Oh well, it will if it's done the way it was.
But even with ECW, and Vince McMahon brought up a very good point about ECW and why ECW didn't make it. And did you watch the documentary, The Rise and Fall of ECW?
Yes, I did.
That's one of the best documentaries they have.
Because it's true.
That style of wrestling is very popular, but only in a small group of people who actually watch wrestling.
Right.
It's very small, and that's why it doesn't work. It only works.
I can tell you where it's located in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It's built, and they even talk about how it. Like Paul E even says, ECW couldn't have worked anywhere else other than Philadelphia because it had that rabid fans. But you can't do that anywhere else. Like Japan doesn't even really do that stuff anymore.
No,
because it doesn't work. It has its place, but that's it. And I would rather watch a really good wrestling match. Like in ECW, you watch those wrestling matches with Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko. Like, oh my God, man, you're talking about wrestling. And I would watch that any day of the week over someone going through tables. But that's me.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Chad, I want to continue this conversation, but I told my wife 90 minutes and we're out. We're getting close. We've had a great conversation about your history, about your working, the madness. It's that time. You're officially in the hot seat.
Time for the hot seat. Yeah, digging it up. Uh-huh.
Oh, shit. Now we're digging it up again. All right. Some of these questions you have heard before. Some of them you haven't. Either one of you watched the Arquette documentary. I will not watch that documentary.
No.
That was probably one of the biggest disgraces in wrestling history. I don't care what anybody says. Or I'm sure he tried to make a comeback or something or whatever that was. I don't want to know about it.
Nope.
I don't want to know anything about that. I will never even acknowledge that in wrestling ever again. That was a disgrace. Moving forward, Coke or Pepsi?
Root beer?
I'm imagining you're not the biggest soda drinker. That's what I figured you could go something different.
Only if I eat out at a burger place or something. That's
the
only time I ever drink pop.
Okay, so what is the substitute instead of Coke or Pepsi if that's not your specialty?
Water or iced tea.
Water or iced tea? You got to pick one.
Water then.
Tea or hot tea or coffee?
Tea.
And what kind of tea?
I like green tea. What's the other one I get? I drink chamomile tea before bed lots to help me sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We drink those teas here at our house. And I'm like, okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
So you're not a coffee guy then?
I love the smell. Okay, this is how weird I am. I love the smell of coffee when it's made, but it's disgusting to drink, and I hate coffee scents in my beard.
Okay.
Go figure.
Pineapple on pizza?
Definitely.
What is your favorite meal?
Favorite meal would probably be barbecued steak, potatoes, and asparagus.
Okay. What is your favorite exercise or / workout to do?
I love body weight training and club bells. If people don't know what a club bell is, it's basically a weighted bat that goes anywhere from 5 pounds up to 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruit, yes or no?
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit would probably be strawberries.
Your least favorite?
What's that one? I can't remember what it's called right now because I hate it so much. But damn it, it's like a melon.
Honeydew?
Yes, honeydew.
Honeydew or cantaloupe? I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, either one of those. No.
How much water is your daily intake?
Probably 4 liters.
Is that crucial, or would you expect more?
No. That's just what I drink because I don't really drink anything else.
Okay.
It's really weird. I get dehydrated really fast.
Well, you're the man that's running, man.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite bodybuilder?
Dorian Yates, easily, by far.
Okay. What is your beard routine? And when I say that, washing routine, your washing conditioning.
So Sundays is always a pine tar day. Then it's just a rinse, co-wash, then a wash, co-wash, wash, and then rinse. And
what products are you using for those?
I use Luxurious's Pine Tar soap. I love that soap.
L to the M.
Yeah. And right now I'm using Han Yonker wash and co-wash.
Okay. Is that just a light washer, not a stripping so much?
Right. Yeah.
And the co-wash, is it scented? Are either one of them scented?
They're scented, but it's so light you don't even notice.
Striptease?
No. Yeah. What is it? He's got like a birchwood or something in there.
Okay. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite beard oil? You had to pick one forever.
I'm going to have to go with Han Yonker because that one is the least greasiest out of all the beard oils I'll use. You can use that and your hands are pretty much dry.
Okay. And what scent would it be?
What scent? Okay, so that was my feeling beard. If I can only have one scent.
Yeah.
That one's so hard, man. Because I'm a huge fan of Churchill and Sinatra. Like, those are in my top 5.
Really?
Oh, I love Churchill and Sinatra. Like, Churchill is phenomenal.
From Boston Mike.
I still bug him. I still message him. I'm like, when are you making it? He's
wow.
He's like, if I ever make some for myself, you're the first guy I'm going to let know.
Oh, dude, I didn't know you were a big fan of that. That's awesome. Boston Mike.
It was because of you that I was a fan of them. I watched your review and I bought them because of that. Same with Holiday. So you're the one who got me hooked on those.
The Sinatra, man. Oh, wow. That was so good.
Yeah.
I love that. Churchill was apple bourbon leather, right?
Yeah. And the way he mixed that is unbelievable. I don't know how he did it. I could wear that every day. I'm a huge fan of 1912 Bilberry Vintage. And those are the ones that stand out right now.
Are you a beard balm or a beard butter guy?
Beard balm.
Really?
I like the business beard, so I needed to keep the flyaways down.
Okay. And what beard balm is your go-to for that? That's my go-to.
Luxurious
I
Bastard.
was gonna say I thought it was Lux. It had to be.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to eliminate one in the shower. Conditioner / co-wash. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. You got to eliminate one. Either beard co-wash or beard conditioner in the shower, or eliminate beard butter. Which one would you get rid of?
I would get rid of the beard conditioner.
The shower one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you got beard butter, there's your conditioner right there.
Okay. All right. Are you a comb or a brush guy?
A comb for the most part, but Royal Beardsman has a boar's hair bristle brush with the curve that goes this way.
This?
I love that thing. That thing is awesome. I will not that one and one of the companies you really like, Mountaineer beer brand.
Yeah, Mountaineer brand with the cactus bristle.
That cactus one, I like that one. Yeah.
Mountaineer brand is a good company. I will never ever say anything. They make good stuff. That cactus bristle, I turned Mo onto that damn thing. It's $10 and it just rakes you out, man. It's really good, a really good brush.
They were the second company I tried. I didn't really like their scents, but that what is it, lime and sage?
Yeah,
that one's good.
Yeah, the lime and sage is a keeper.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of comb do you use?
Cologne or comb?
Oh, comb.
Comb. I use the Chicago combs. I have all of them.
These or the metal ones?
The carbon fiber ones.
The carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Which one's your go-to comb for that?
Usually it's the pick.
You use the pick? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I carry the number 1 all the time, everywhere.
The thing is my hair is like horse hair.
It is
so coarse.
You should make a video of you actually showing like before and then do the pick and show. You should document that, man. You should.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
3 things you would change.
3 things I would change?
Mm-hmm.
Like in anything?
Whatever you want.
I would change people to stop hating on each other a lot and start accepting each other more and realize it's not that bad, man. Like life is not that bad. So the one thing I would want to say to people is what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. So what's right with your life? Think about that stuff.
Okay.
The other things I would change, that's such a loaded question. Humor. I wish people would have a better sense of humor, especially about themselves.
Okay.
Stop taking themselves so seriously and, have a sense of humor about yourself, man. And the other thing I would like to change is if people would stop trying to control everything. Realize life's going to happen to you and you can't control it. It's going to happen to you whether you like it or not, and it's up to you how you're going to respond. To go quickly into that, when I told you I was in that dark spot,
mm-hmm.
I had a neck injury. I popped my C7. I was $42,000 in debt. I had a relationship with someone I really cared, left me. I quit my job, and I was selling my condo. You want to talk about tough times?
Oh, man.
That all happened in 1 month.
Jeez. Wow.
And I came out through all that. And to this day, I live in a nice, quiet 1-bedroom apartment that I like. I got my health and I'm stronger than I've ever been in my life. I'm seeing a very nice woman. I just got to be debt free. So it's not that bad. You can get through anything you need to.
If you could look into the future, what would you want to see?
I don't know. I don't think I would want that.
Okay. So what is your favorite scent profile? If you're like tobacco, fresh, clean, barbershop, citrus.
I like dark, manly scents. So like, I guess leather, tobacco, but I really do like barbershops as well. But dark, manly scents are my number 1 to go to.
Okay. All right. Your least favorite?
Citrus and colognes.
Okay. You're one of the first men to say, I'm not a cologne fan. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
all right.
They're too overpowering for me.
Okay. The best company that works for you so far? All around.
All around, Han Yonker.
Okay. Adam makes good shit, man. He does. All right. Now this one, I'm trying to bring in different questions. Okay. Yeah. The best Christmas gift you've ever received?
Was a bike when I was 12. I didn't have a bike and I wanted one.
What is the best gift you've ever gave?
Best gave my mom on her birthday. My mom suffers from fibromyalgia and nerve damage.
Okay.
And on her birthday, I was lucky enough to have 25 of my friends come over, and everyone gave her a bouquet of flowers, and they all brought over food and treats. And it was my mom's best birthday that she ever had.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
What is one place you would like to go visit anywhere in the world?
Rome.
Okay. Yeah. What if I'm asking this because I was thinking of this earlier. What are you going to have for breakfast tomorrow?
I have a green smoothie every morning for breakfast.
A green smoothie? My wife, listen. What's in this green smoothie?
So I have a half a cup of oat milk, like oatmeal milk.
Mm-hmm.
It's mango, pineapple, strawberry, spinach, and an apple.
Okay. All right. 3 wishes.
3 wishes. 1, I wished every time I reached in my pockets, I'd pull out 10 grand.
1.
Yeah. 2, I wish my mom wasn't in pain anymore.
Okay.
I wish my mom was healthy and not in pain and she can move around.
Okay.
And the 3rd one, I kind of wish there was enough food for everyone and no one had to starve.
Okay. It's a good one. Name a company that you are like, I got to try this company. Like, number 1, that's the next one.
Oh, that one's hard because I was going to say Mudcat and Whiskers, but I just got a sample pack from them. Trying to brains going right now. You and your questions, man. Some of them are tough. Bloom's Beard. I really want to try out what he's coming out with, his revamping and rebranding.
Okay. All right. Final one, just because your honest thoughts on Hulk Hogan all around.
I think he's a piece of shit.
Okay. That's what I expected.
Yeah, like that man is a piece of shit, like all around.
Okay.
As a human being, as a wrestler, and what he did for the wrestling world, you can't beat Hulk Hogan. But as a human being, yeah, I wouldn't want to be around him.
Well, Chad, you have survived the speed round of the hot seat, and as always, always ask 2 questions at the end. Number 1, who do you want to see in the hot seat?
Who I want to see in a hot seat? I would. Has Dave been in? Dave Bearded Motivation?
He's. I need to get a hold of him. He's supposed to be next week.
Yeah, I would like to see Dave in.
I need to get with him and just see when he's available because he told me he would do it. We just didn't make it official and put the stamp on it. Okay, Hollywood it is. And if I always ask for feedback, what do you? Is there anything I need to change or add to open the door?
The only thing that I would say is try to be more interactive with the guys in the comments.
It's kind of hard to do that when I'm trying to.
It is.
I'm looking at you right now at my computer screen, but if I want to talk to you, I got to look at my camera, and I'm like, I'm like, shit. It's kind of hard to do that.
And it is very hard because I did the Bearded Regard, and I found it hard. Like it was my first time, so I get what you mean. But that's the only thing I really have for you.
Okay.
All right,
man. Well, Cedric from Beard Justice was the first one to add something to the channel. And I always ask, you don't have to do this. It's up to you. He's always said, have the guests put me in the speed round. If you have any questions for me, fire away. If you don't, you don't have to.
No, yeah, that's great. I know I said I didn't like cologne scents, but I did get the sample packs from Cedric, and he does have some of the best cologne scents, and his sample pack is awesome. So
he is the master of the cologne. I've said it for years, and I continue to say it, man.
Yeah, he is. So KFC or Popeyes?
That's funny you mentioned that because we were talking about that today. Because actually, Mandy and I I've been on this quest to see who makes the best fast food chain restaurant fish sandwich. So I went to Popeyes to try their fish sandwich today. It's flounder. It's flounder fish. Tastes pretty good, and it's a Cajun flavor. So the fish sandwich is not that bad. So that one's higher up in the list. But and we always get a chicken sandwich when we're there. So
Okay.
KFC or Popeyes. Woo, that's a tough one. I'm gonna call me crazy. I'm gonna say the original KFC just because I love it.
Yeah, that big crunch is a tasty chicken burger. Okay, so tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
Ooh, really?
I wanted that tonight for dinner.
Okay, top 5. Nope, we did that one. Okay, top 5 favorite bands, because I don't know the answer to this question.
Number 1 will always be Stained until the day I die. Will always be the band Stained. I will love that band forever. Number 2, Slayer.
Nice.
3, The Doors.
Nice.
That's why they're there. 4, I'm thinking about this one. I really am. Machine Head.
Okay.
5, anything that Chris Cornell put his finger in.
Yeah, you're still upset with me because I got to see one of his last concerts.
I know, you bastard. No, seriously, that was a tough one, man. That one was.
Yeah. Did you see the comment someone put on your one video when you said I was coming in? He thinks my picture I look like Chris Cornell.
Yeah, I did. I saw that and I was like, he does kind of resemble him. Yeah.
Okay, top 3 movies.
Showgirls. I always say that as a joke. You ever watch Scream?
Yeah.
Scream 2. What's your favorite scary movie? Showgirls. Absolutely. No. 1, Dumb and Dumber. Always Jim Carrey's my favorite actor.
Nice.
Very close second, Psycho, black and white, the original.
Okay.
3, shit, I just had this conversation with my wife. No, it's not Red Dragon. That's one of my go-to watches because it's a great movie. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, fantastic movie.
The Shawshank Redemption or The Godfather. It's one or the other.
Godfather, that's what we gotta do right now. You come into my house. Burgers or pizza?
Pizza, all the way, 1,000,000%.
Okay. Huh. Really? Because me personally, I would go burgers.
Pizza. That's my weakness. That's why I'm so fat. Shut up, man.
Do you have a sweet tooth? Do you like sweets?
I'm fat. Yeah.
That's too funny. Okay, let me think. I wasn't prepared for this, but I do have some questions. Okay, what about for you? What beer company is number 1 all around? Or
for me, Damn Yankee Beer Company. Honestly, it's a very, very close second. The Beer to Back.
Yeah, Damn Yankee. I love that TCVC. That is the best cedar scent in the beer game, in my opinion.
You mean Cedar Tobacco Vanilla, CTV?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Cedar Tobacco Vanilla. That is the best cedar scent in the game. And Bearded Mac, I really like his products too, and he's a pretty cool guy to talk to.
Get this. If somehow the new one, the Jamestown Mac that just come out,
Yeah,
I didn't want to say this in this live stream, but this is probably right. I said it in my live stream the other night. I said Pipe Dream is right now my number one scent for 2021. This is one AA. This is right beside it.
yeah. Unfortunately for me, I can't buy anything. So
Right. I understand.
I got to take your word for it.
This is about as close as you're going to get as to just a tobacco scent. And when I mean that, not flavored with anything else, just tobacco. It changes just like anything else in the bearding game now. The scent changes throughout the day. 1912 will always be my favorite scent, Stefan. Always. That is the most original scent on the market, and I still say it to this day. And it's still my favorite. But I can still wear other ones. Keep that in mind.
Okay, this could be a two-part question.
Okay.
Three things you wish you could change about the bearded community.
3 things I would change about the bearded community. Cut the bullshit. Number 1. Number 2. Number 2. I wish people would stop having a negative opinion about people in general who receive any kind of compensation / payment for the work that they put in for.
Yeah.
I mean that.
I agree with
Just
you.
because someone makes money does not give you the right to degrade them, call them a fake. They're in it for the money. They're getting paid because they're working their ass off and they've earned it. That's the end of that. That's the end of that.
Yeah, I'm just going to comment on that. I agree with you 100% because I don't think people understand the time and effort they're putting into it. And time is a commodity that you cannot buy.
Damn right.
Once you use that time, it's gone. And what is wrong with being compensated?
That's right. And number 3, I wish people who did reviews would honestly tell the truth and not say that everything is good just so that the company owner doesn't get upset with them, or they feel like they need to tell them they feel like they need to give them a good review because they're their friend.
Yep.
Be completely honest. Not everything's good.
Nope.
As I've said before, there are some companies I've reviewed and I said this set sucked, but then I get another one from that company and I'm like, this is badass. You know, tell the truth.
I'm going to say this on camera. I love Hanyonker, and this is what I like about Adam. When I got his stuff, he goes, "Please tell me if you don't like something." Yeah. He goes, "I understand not everything is good, and I do not like witch's breath." And I told him that too. I said, "I'm sorry, man, not my thing." And Adam was like, "Yeah, man, that's cool because when you have bearded products, not everything you're going to do is going to be a home run."
That's right.
You know,
there are sense that Pete's made that I'm not a fan of. I've told him.
Yeah. Okay, so the second part to this, what are the 3 things you love about this community?
I love the fact that people still respect my opinion or want to hear my opinion because I'm not one that is grinding day in and day out. I did. I just don't anymore. But I like that people still want to see what I have to offer or even just want to tune into whatever I have to say, period. I like that.
Yeah.
I like how the community helps everyone. People with cancer. I'm not saying this is going to happen. If Chad was down and out and we need to help him, it would happen. It would happen, you know? I love how the community does that for people in the world. I mean, in all seriousness, Gary from Chesapeake sent money to a dying girl with cancer multiple times. I mean, that was awesome, man.
Yeah, like,
and I know here recently, I haven't been on social media to see what who the people are, so that's why I didn't name them. But I know it's people, things like that are still going on, and I think it's really nice. I like I like this, but also I want to see it happen more. I like that the companies are stepping in front of the camera. Some of them, no knock to them. Some of them, they don't want to be seen. Represent your damn company. I want to see that. I want to see, Chad Straza. This is Chad Straza with the Madness Beard Company. Whatever it may be. Earn your, mark your territory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if it's that, hey, I'm Chad from the. I'm making that all up, of course. Hey, I'm Chad with the Madness Beard Company. This is what we have to offer you. Such and such and such and such. Do that.
Yeah. And I agree with you too. Like, this community is very supportive, and they are here to help people. Like, I've seen more support and that kind of stuff in this bearded community than I did at my old job. Those guys used to fight each other like tooth and nail, and like rabid dogs. No one supported each other. But then you come into this community, and people are so supportive. Like you and Dave have been so supportive of me at the Macho Man thing. Look at me, I'm on with the Bearded Regard now, and I'm on your channel, and that that's because of the support in this community.
You're badass, Chad. It's because you're a badass dude.
And I'm really grateful for that. That's awesome. I didn't think I would ever be doing this, and so no, it's wicked. I like that. Last final question.
Okay.
If you could have anything, like snap of a fingers, they were like, here, you can have this, what would it be?
I would like for my wife to buy me a PB 5150. That was a joke. I tell her that every day. That's Eddie Van Halen's guitar amp. Always. Nice. If I have one thing, my grandparents back. My grandparents.
Yeah. You were very close with them?
They raised me for most of my childhood, my early childhood. Yeah.
Nice.
They passed away. My grandfather passed away when I was 13 or 14, in the middle of that year. My grandmother passed away in 2015.
Okay.
But keep in mind, I have two sisters, and my dad's sister had children as well. But it was my grandparents. The greatest thing to them was the grandkids. They had the children. They raised them. They did the good job. But they really thought the world of their grandchildren. They really thought the world, that was their world. And I miss that feeling from time to time, because my granddad, his name is Pappy. He never called me, because my dad's name is the same as mine. I wasn't called Scotty. My name was Buddy. I don't know why. He never, ever called me by my name. Never. And he called my dad Boy. He never, ever called us by our name. Hey, boy. And hey, buddy, come here, And my grandmother called me, because I was the second Scott, so I was Scotty by default.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And I miss him. I do. Miss him from time to time.
Yeah, no doubt.
I would like my grandparents back.
Oh, that.
Yeah. And I'm not being like emotional. I know that'd be my answer.
Yeah, no, they're not being emotional at all. It's when they raise you and they do that, without a doubt, you'd want to have.
I'm not close to my parents at all. We do not speak.
Yeah.
I think that this is ignorant for me to say this, especially on camera. I think that my grandparents thought of me more and appreciated me more than my parents did. I could be wrong. That's just me.
Yeah, I had my own issues with my dad, so.
Yeah. And you know what? You're here. You're a man. You have the madness in you.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, and like that's what we were talking about before when I said I went through all that stuff. It sucks while you go through it, but it will pass.
When you get through it, and I got the greatest wife in the world because I am a ticking time bomb, and something doesn't go my way, or it's just a bad day. She's we got it. We're gonna make it. Don't worry. I'm lucky to have my wife. I don't know how she puts up with me half time. I really mean that, guys. I want to get in this thing out because I'm already running over past my time.
Yeah.
I want to do. But Chad, I want to thank you for putting me in the speed round. But dude, coming on and starting off 2021, almost 3 months late. Thank you for coming in, man, and putting a foot in my butt to start getting some interview sessions out, man.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me on here. It was fun and it was a blast, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your content. And if the boot in the butt isn't going to help you, then I got to bring the thunder and start dropping the elbows, Scott. You got to get in there. Yeah, we missed you.
15-foot high cage. Oh shit. Oh man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Chad, you and Steve's impressions this week was, oh my god, they were great. They were really awesome.
That was Steve's idea. He was the one who messaged me and was like, "Let's do this. Let's give the guys laughs." But I think I stunned him on the Stone Cold one because he hasn't.
I can do his, but mine's the one where he's just yelling at you because you got the regular voice down really good. I can't do his regular voice because it's you gotta get it down. You got to get it right because he's got that Texas twang to him.
Yeah, it's like you gotta tell this son of a bitch right now that I need my beers, and then I'm gonna go and do some Texas style barbecue. That's what we got right now because Stone Cold said so, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and when he's yelling at you, he just yelled at you. You pretty much just got to raise your voice. And he just yacked out. It just kind of came natural to him.
Yeah, like that's how I practice my impressions. Is I do them quiet because once you get the quiet part down, then you can raise it up. Like Joe Pesci. Like, you motherfucker, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bury you in the desert right now.
I can't wait to see more of the impressions from Chad Straza. I think they're going to be really fun. I hope to see you making little videos. I don't want to call them skits, but they are. I want to see some new impression videos from you, man. It's going to be fun.
I will be doing it. Thanks again, Scott, for having me on here. Truly honored.
Guys, next week we're supposed to have Hollywood Dave, Bearded Motivation. He's lined up to be in the hot seat. We just got to get the time and the date locked in. I'm going to be messaging him, try to get that locked in. If not, it'll be open, but I'll post when that time comes. But I hope to see you guys next week. Chad, once again, thanks for tuning in, man.
Thanks for having me. You have a great
Everybody keep on bearding, and we'll see you soon.